Here we are in Brighton on a subcontract. Well, I've chipped out as far as the chase as I can. It would be advantageous to have more of that cable to play with. So I'm going to slit this cupboard and try and free off some more of the cable. And the way I'm going to do that is using a cutter such as this to try and get through that cupboard. See if it works. Well, I'm just looking for a fire alarm because it's filling the house with smoke. Just need to go between them. Using this. So I've cut back this length of trunking, and I've freed up a fair amount of cable, as you can see here, which I'm going to put down there into a double socket, and then the plug tops can go into there. Here we are in Brighton on a subcontract, and amongst the jobs is the fact that the socket for the combi cooker, or both these cookers, is inaccessible when the cooker's in. So I'm going to run 2.5mm down and put a socket into the bottom. It's still not that accessible, but that's probably better than it was. Put a socket down here into the low level. But what we've got is I've got here trunking with the ring in it, and then the cables disappear into the plaster here and carry on up to the pattress box. So if I drill out the cable, I can hopefully use a length of the original cable to bring down into this lower level cupboard. One thing I need to check though is that the socket is going to fit with the drawer closed in there. So yeah, that's the job. As is usual with any of these jobs, its excess is pretty slim under there. I don't fancy terminating double socket in there. So I'm going to terminate it up here with the back box. That's what I'm going to attempt to do, and then shove it down there and just screw it to the back. So I've got the minimum amount of work to do while I'm down here. And yeah, then I've got to mount it out of the way of this aperture enough that you can still get the plug tops down there. Well, here we are. We've achieved the objective, but it's taken me an hour and a half to do, and there's still quite a few other jobs. So I'm going to be pushed for time now. So let's get the oven in, hoover up, get some of these tools back to the van, and carry on with the other jobs. Well, we're at the next address now, and the problem is tripping downlighters in the bathroom. Well, there was nothing that I could see wrong in there, save that the ceiling void was full of mica insulation that you get in an oven, and it just poured out of every single orifice, made a terrible mess. I did an insulation resistance test. We got 0.04 megohm, which isn't enough to cause tripping between line and earth, and that was with the RCD in place at the board, so no big surprises there. But it wasn't naught. I couldn't separate out the neutrals because it was too much of a rat's nest, and it was an old 3871 board. The diameter of the holes for the downlighters was 65mm. They were the obsolete halogen 12 volt bulbs in there with transformers on each one, which I shouldn't really suspect because there was no earth to the transformers, so the earth stopped at and had been terminated correctly in the junction boxes, but there was no earth leading into the transformers. I took every junction box apart and looked in. There was mica in each one, but I emptied them out. I couldn't get the fault to replicate itself for me. The fault being the 10-way, about a 10-way board with one RCD, 30 milliamp RCD hanging off the end of that. Could be a faulty RCD, it could be residual earth current, earth leakage exceeding the threshold of the RCD. That's a point. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to do a ramp test on the RCD. I'll do a ramp test on it. Right, so here we are. Here's the board. Not every one of these has a feed, so some of these are spare. So what I've just thought of is to carry out a ramp test on the RCD and just test the threshold of the RCD, and then we know for sure that the board is alright. So I'll show you, I'll take the cover off and show you what I mean by not being able to separate the neutrals out for the insulation resistance test. So here we are with the cover off. As you can see, it's a bit of a rat's nest. There is sign of deterioration on the insulation, basic insulation there, and it looks like it's got wet at some point in there, but there's some other. It's on a 16 breaker. Not sure what that is, but I will re-terminate that. Well, there we are, 21 milliamps. Well, this is Brighton Marina. This is Brighton Marina. And that was a cooker hood. And now we have a bathroom fan that doesn't go off. Well, that was sorted by just going into the fan unit and altering the overrun timer. So it only took about 10 minutes while I was in there, maybe 15. But the fan looks like it's had better days, and the overrun timer was at quite a low setting already, so it shouldn't have just stayed on. But it's working now. So here we are in Brighton Marina. It's a lovely evening, and I've lost my specs today, which is going to make driving home in the dark quite a challenge. I had a blowout last night on the way back from Portsmouth with my son from Evensong at the cathedral where he's singing, which finishes about 6:15, and then I was driving home. I got almost there, and then the tyre blew out on the left side. Luckily I was only doing 30, and so I had to change the tyre, clawed off at a friend's house nearby, walked round to a friend's. It was an icy cold night with the moon out, and so last night was a late night and this morning was an early morning. But yeah, we're complete for today, and the time is 16:47. Not bad.
The eyes have it. The eyes have it.
After 6, if you're confused by the rules, the LBC All-Stars might be able to help.